Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So there's a comic book that I'm not too sure how to categorize it, I guess you could say. Is it an investment type of comic, or is it just a spec comic book? So the book I'm talking about, it's a Earth 2, number 19 in a 9.8, with the first appearance of Val Zod Superman on this one. And I think, what makes this one speculative is there's supposed to be like an HBO show coming, and it's a Michael B. Jordan produced show. Some of those articles had come out like late last year, I would say, and I think earlier this year they said like they got the writers for the show. So I guess it's good to kind of see that progressing. But you know what, the thing about these shows is sometimes, in a month or two, like an article comes out, the Val Zod show is axed, then, all this kind of goes away, all the anticipation kind of goes away. So it is a little bit speculative, like if that happens, we could be at a sort of, medium-term price high in this Earth 2 number 19 book. But what makes me think it might be a pretty great investment type of book is I really think this is, one of the only books I can think of in the modern age that has that like massive upside potential, I would say. Like if a Val Zod Superman ever got a hold in pop culture, similar to like how a Miles Morales has caught hold the new Spider-Man, like a new Superman could sort of do the same thing if there was just like a great show or a movie that made him look so cool. There'd be so many people jumping on the bandwagon of like a Val Zod Superman. So I think just having that, real upside potential is attractive. But again, yeah, super speculative. Maybe that show doesn't really happen. Having a look on the census, though, it's a great one in a 9.8 right now. A really great kind of underfollowed DC key in the modern age. There's 97 9.8s in a blue label, so still under 100 of them. There's going to be a ton of these graded, over the next year or two as the popularity kind of ratchets up. 42%, about all the copies sent to CGC, about 42% of them are a 9.8. So that's not too bad. At least it's under 50%. Like for a brand new book, a lot of times it's like where, especially for a book that's not heavily graded, it's like 60 or 70% of all graded copies are 9.8. So not too bad there. Recent price is, so yeah, clearly I grabbed one. We had documented one on Comic Link that had sold. It is getting on maybe 2 months ago for $399. I saw one sell for $355. Ended up grabbing mine for $360. However, I bought it in Canada, and the thing about Canada now on eBay in Canada, there's taxes on every order now, so there's kind of no way you can get around it. Kind of the good old days on eBay Canada are over, basically, where you could be patient and kind of wait for a seller that wasn't like a business and they wouldn't charge taxes. That doesn't happen anymore. So I was charged taxes on this one. With the tax and everything, it was basically $400 US, which for me on an Earth 219 right now is probably a little near the higher end of the fair value. I think if you're really patient on this one, you wait for an auction on eBay, you get this for kind of, maybe like $340 or something like that, or maybe about $355. I did see another one sell for. So, a couple positives for an Earth 219 I think probably outweigh some of the spec nature of the book. Another thing that I really like about Earth 219 is the variant version for this. It really it sucks. It's like one of those cartoony kind of covers. I forget the artist's name, but it's sort of like a Scotty Young type of cover where it's like cartoon. Personally, I don't enjoy those covers at all. I noticed like the variant doesn't really catch a big buck. There's not a lot of them out there in a 9.8, which for me just means that not a lot of people bought it and they didn't like the eye appeal of it either. So, I compared this book earlier to kind of an Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales. The thing about Ultimate Fallout 4 is it's got the super expensive variant and the second printing and the Pacelli second printing, and now there's like a zillion facsimiles. Whereas this one, it's got this variant version that really sucks, and then it's this one. So it's like the one book that Val Zod fans are gonna want. So I think that's a positive where, if it had like a really cool variant, like the Jurjevic variant on an Ultimate Fallout 4, maybe the upside would be a little more limited and people would really go after that variant, I'm sure. So, Earth 219, I was able to read this one too. It's pretty cool how, basically what happens in this is how Val Zod's introduced. It's pretty cool. Batman and the gang, they kind of go underground. And this is while mind-controlled Clark Kent Superman is destroying the world with all these parademons. So Batman's underground. They're like, hey, we kind of got our secret weapon. He's in this like sub cell. So they go down, they open the cell, and it's like Val Zod's there in like a kitchen and a living room, just underground. And he's all kind of hanging out. And he's like, hey, what's up? But all of a sudden, he starts cramping up and everything. And Batman takes out a piece of kryptonite. And he's like, he's Kryptonian. And then, so in this issue, they end up bringing him to the Batcave so he can kind of recover. And in issue 24 is the cameo of him kind of ripping off, with the S at the end. And then in 25, he's kind of in full action against evil Clark Kent in this Earth 2 storyline. So, yeah, I think Earth 2/19 is going to be the one to get with the first appearance. And it's cool how they introduce him, too. I think it actually is, even though he's not Superman in this one, it still is pretty cool. And then, 24, the cameo. 25 with that cool cover, kind of first Val Zod as in the Superman suit. I guess it could be in issue 25. So yeah, you know what? We'll leave it at that. I wanted to highlight, these books. And as I said, I think Earth 2/19, it's probably one of those, the only kind of modern books that I could think of that really has like some massive upside potential if a few things happen. Like, it's really going to take that Val Zod to kind of get in and to sort of hit that nerve with pop culture, much like a Miles Morales did. And I think that could possibly happen. For me, it was kind of worth the speculation to pick one up around $400 US. It was a pretty expensive, for a spec 9.8, admittedly. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Earth 2/19. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But thanks so much for watching. As always, team. I'll see you on the next one.